Action! Hello everyone, I am Andras Volom. I am the first youth delegate of Hungary to the United Nations, and it is a great pleasure to be here in Lyon at this Model United Nations conference. I myself have a great history with MU, and I think it is one of the best things young people can do to get to know to the international world. So that's it.
Okay. In your opinion, what role should play Western countries in migration nowadays?
I think it is less about what role Western countries should play. It's more like Western countries are affected, and because of that, they necessarily need to react. So migration is an issue that is affecting different countries, and those countries deal with it usually that are affected by it. So beyond that, I think that Western developed countries, their migration crisis happens, might be in a good place to help developing countries that are even less suited to solving such crises. But I think that at the moment, actually Europe is facing significant pressure, or it will face significant pressure as climate migration develops. So in that sense, the West will just play a role because it has to play a role.
But do you think they really help developing countries?
I think that in several cases, yes, they do. Even if not directly all the time, you must see that most of the budget of the United Nations is actually contributions from Western countries. Or you can talk about civil society as well. So I think Western civil society plays a great role in how migration or migration crises can be sort of mitigated in developing countries. Well, Western civil society, I think, does a great job in many cases.
And what role should play Arabic and powerful countries such as Saudi Arabia or Qatar in migration, in the case of Syria, for example?
Well, I think that this is obviously a politically very delicate issue for many countries. I believe that burden sharing is very important, and the country that is in the geographical proximity of a country where people need to flee, I think really the neighbors are in the best position to provide shelter and peace for these people, because those are the areas where they can return to their original country, from where they can return to the original country in the shortest possible amount of time. And you must consider that refugees, they really don't want to leave their country. It's a forced situation for them, and because of that, I think that it is best if they can find a place in neighboring countries.
And what should countries do in front of a massive flow of migrants, but tiny countries next to them, like Syria or like Lebanon and Jordan? What should they do?
Well, I think that Lebanon, for example, is already having a significant community of refugees and migrants. Well, there is a point after which a country cannot receive more. It is more, and I think it is important that more important than anything that you try to tackle the problem at its very grassroots. Because if you only try to treat the symptoms, the whole problem will not go away. I agree, and I understand that in some cases it is not possible to find an immediate solution to the root cause. But I think that we must be focused on that. But on that note, I would also channeling maybe something else, the role of youth in actually contributing to actually mitigating migration crises or drawing down hatred that often appears when change happens in certain societies. The United Nations Security Council adopted Security Council Resolution 2250 not too long ago, which actually, for the first time in the history of the United Nations, mentions youth as a decisive actor and player in preventing violent extremism, and puts it into a place where it can play a role in decision making. And this is important from two perspectives, or two aspects. First, that of course these young people can actually contribute a lot to preventing radicalization and violent extremism. Because often young people losing their identity are the most vulnerable to radicalization. And on the other hand, it also heralds the beginning of an era in which the opinion of youth is taken into account on a global level. So I think that it is worth taking note of that. And Security Council Resolution 2250 is a big achievement in that respect as well.
How can countries face illegal immigration?
I think that illegal immigration is potentially very dangerous, both for the migrant and the receiving country. I think that everything has to be done to fight human trafficking on the one hand. On the other hand, border control must be in a pretty straightforward and clear situation. Countries need to know where their borders are, and need to be able to control those borders and to control the influx of people. The thing is, when illegal migration is happening, you don't really know what is coming into your territory, right? That has many potential problems, from terrorism to potentially dangerous diseases. So that is one thing. But on the other side, it is also wrong, fundamentally wrong for the people who are becoming victims of human trafficking, for example. Illegal migration is generally a lose-lose situation, in my opinion.
Thank you very much for your speech.
You're welcome.